Hello, y'all, and welcome back to the channel. Marquita here. I know it's been a while, and I do apologize for missing last week. I actually did make content, so what you're going to see in this video is a combination of last week's how it's growing updates as well as current um, how it's growing updates. And so they'll give you a good kind of week to week view in one video of how things are growing and changing. So that's why I want to get on here and give a quick intro just to kind of tell you or prep you for what you're going to see. So I'll be showcasing some of the new house plants, or not new house plants, but new growth in the house plants, and the arrow garden update, as well as a balcony garden update, and really not so much the whole thing because there's not much of a change. The peppers are still, my cayenne peppers are still growing. They're greens. They're starting to turn red again. Um, but the pumpkin update. So that's the main thing I want to be sharing with you from the garden, but then also just a couple of houseplant things as well. So when I pop on just one every so often, I like to just show my face because a lot of times you just see the plants and hear my voice. And also just to kind of give you an idea of what to expect in this video. So again, in advance, thank you so much for watching. And also please be sure to hit the like and subscribe button before you leave so that you can catch these updates. Sunday is typically my uploading day for the how it's growing section. So if you see it or if you like it and want to keep up with me, just subscribe and make sure you hit the notification so that you can also be notified when the videos go up. So I wanted to start with this arrow garden mainly because I was starting to make a salad, as you guys can see, and that's why that lettuce is there on the side. I'm plucking the lettuce. This is actually round two because I've already made one salad. I'll insert a picture of that here so that you guys can see. For those who have been watching the channel, you know that's my go-to, my chicken and strawberries and cheese salad with the raspberry vinaigrette. But either way, I'm about to make another one of those salads, and I had just started plucking the lettuce in the bowl, and I was like, let me show the people what has happened before I pluck it all off. So if you noticed last time, this one was full before, and this is the first one that like really grew and developed. So I've already had my first salad off that. This is salad number two. So I just want you guys to be aware of just how much like just one pod can give you. And as you can see, the second pod is actually now ready for plucking. I may add some of that into, depending on how much this makes. I may go ahead and clear out all of that or harvest all of that for this current salad. This seed was the last one to kind of get going, but as you can see, it's now up and coming, just like this one. So I am going to have lots of salad in my future, which I love. Love that for me. And again, this is romaine lettuce in all three of those. And I grew them from seed with the Create Your Own Pod by Arrow Garden. And so still harvested the same way or grew it the same way. Set the timer, accordingly for the appropriate amount of time for the lettuce. And it's been going well. This is, I've been growing romaine lettuce in the Arrow Gardens for quite a while now. So nothing new there. And this is the Arrow Garden Bounty Basic, if you're wondering what machine that is. And for those who may have missed the last one, or if you just have missed out, even if you've been following me, Arrow Garden is unfortunately going out of business. You can no longer order gardens or supplies from them online from the Arrow Garden site, but they are still available on Amazon, as well as probably if you can get to any stores. Like I know Best Buy used to carry Arrow Gardens and other places, but they're no longer available directly from Arrow Garden. And now you can order from the Amazon Arrow Garden store as well. And there are other hypo, oh, I cannot talk today, guys, probably because I'm starving, but I wanted to get this footage. Hydroponic gardening systems out there. I actually do have one that's not an Arrow Garden, so maybe when I start that up, I will follow it just to compare like the difference between that one and the actual Arrow Gardens. Arrow Garden is kind of just like an OG, brand or whatever. Like that's the name brand that a lot of people know, but the actual technique that Arrow Garden uses is the hydroponic uh, gardening thing, and there are plenty of systems out there that allow for that. So just keep that in mind if you can't find an Arrow Garden, or if they're just a little pricey for your budget, or if you're just starting, you're like, I don't want to invest that much. So, but you do want to try something like that. All right, so next to this, we have the um, red Chinese evergreen, or the aglaonema, as you can see here, is growing, doing quite well. You'll see there's some new growth here, a little new leaf. There's a stem coming in down there. It's quite a few. And these are all relatively new, the smaller leaves. So it's doing pretty well. We'll go over to one of my propagated pothos. And this is the golden pothos. You guys can see this is the newest leaf here. It's still really shiny. And I don't know if that's just because it's new or if my other ones are just dusty, but it's still really shiny. So it's going along great. And same with the other propagated um, pothos here. These were the newer section, like all of that was new since I've replanted. So that's that. Most things are still doing well. More pothos. The Brazil phyllo that you guys see, which is not a pothos, but it's more like a pothos cousin. It's doing very well. It's now touching the floor, literally. And we'll get to the balcony garden as well today. But I just wanted to show you that growth, and then checking in on what I call my plant wall. Some yellowing of the leaves you might notice, and that's just because the weather is changing. It's finally starting to stabilize a little bit more on the cool side. So some of that is just from we still had a few spurts of like 80-degree days here and there. So I think some of that is just in response to the temperatures being inconsistent, which a lot of plants don't like that. So you will notice a few yellowing leaves, but just a few is okay. Now, if your whole plant starts turning yellow, that's a problem, but just a few here and there, it's totally normal. Um, then looking on the bottom row, so this is my singular. This is one that was up above my TV. Actually, both of these were, but this was just this one. So we're gonna see what happens with it. And again, this is another Chinese evergreen, just like the one that was next to the arrow garden. This was a rescue plant, so this is why it's probably looking like that. But the funny thing is, so was that other one. So just a matter of what status they were in. Speaking of rescues, this is also the same plant in terms of the same species of plant. This is another aglaonema, but this one is green. It's not, it doesn't have the red, or it won't have the red as it grow in. But this is green and it kind of has like a green, and it'll have like a white variation in it. But you can see there's actually new growth. I was surprised because it started quite a bit. So there's a new leaf coming in. There's some new growth. Of course, here's a new leaf that's unfolding. So these were here. Like this is an old leaf that's been there. And so was that one and this one. So these new ones are coming in. So hopefully they will come in nicely and survive, and won't yellow out with the temperatures, because I had almost given up hope on this plant. So I'm glad to see that it is growing. And that's something, just a little note if you are like relatively new to house plants, um, don't give up just because it doesn't seem like it's doing anything right away. Because I've had this plant for almost a year, and I almost thought like it's not going to do anything because it stayed with just like these two for the longest. So look now what we have. So it could be that I moved it from over the TV. Maybe it likes being here better. I don't know, but I'm just happy to see it growing. And again, it was a rescue plant, so it wasn't in the greatest condition when I got it. This was my plant that was sent to me through the Plant Distribution Center. For those who don't know the backstory, this plant randomly arrived in a package that I ordered that had nothing to do with plants. And so I just decided to keep it and see if we could grow it. So a lot of the leaves, you do see some of them have like the yellowing and stuff. And I don't know if that's from the environment situation or some of them were slightly damaged when it came in the pack. It was a pretty full plant when I got it. So it still is growing. And so I'm hoping that this is just like leaves yellow over here, that's just their version of yellowing, because I don't think they'll actually yellow out. They'll just kind of brown out. But I will look more into the care and see if there's anything else I can do to help keep this one healthy and happy. Um, Here there was a new leaf. There is a new leaf. You guys can see right there. Last time I showed it, it was just kind of like a fold, but it's now a whole leaf. And that's this one here. That's the new leaf. Let's see if I can get a different angle. All right, you can kind of see the backside. There's a little purple. That's the new leaf right there. So that's why I say I think there's possibility because, and this looks pretty new right here. Well, there's a possibility that some of this is just the damage from the shipping, and then the new things that are coming in will hopefully be healthy. So we'll see. Different things happen. There's another one looks like it's unfolding. So new growth is always a good sign. So something's going right there. We'll have to figure out if we can get 100% right so that we can save the leaves that are there. Um, and that's it for my indoor updates. The last thing that I'm going to show is the balcony garden, and that's because I had a little bit of growth going on with the pumpkin. It looks like there's one trying to do something. I'm seeing more uh, coming from it than the other ones. Usually would just flower off, yellow flower, and then go away. But I did see one that looked like it was creating vines, so we'll see what happens. But I'll leave you with a shot of that. All right, y'all. So here is the current status of the arrow garden. So as you saw previously, I had one, the middle was ready and I made a salad. So you saw a picture of that. So this is what has happened since then. More growth. As you can see, I've told you guys that it will continue to regrow even if you harvest it. So you can see that more is coming in. That's the same middle that I've made two salads off of already, two large salads. And then this one will be ready. I put a few leaves from there as well. They're coming in, and then this one is almost getting up to where it will be ready to harvest. It was the last one to start growing in. So these two were kind of on the same page, and this one's the last one to grow in. I just wanted to show you guys where it is. And again, the romaine lettuce does produce quite a bit, especially if you are harvesting it, giving it more room to continue to regenerate, regrow. Sitting right here, speaking of growth, we also have a lot of new growth with the Chinese evergreen, aka Aglonema here. This is the red edition, so the red variant, red Chinese evergreen. You can see by the red coloring that it has. Lots of new growth. You can see this is kind of a shiny leaf. That's new. I'm trying to get far enough away where you can see the new stuff. This is new. What's coming in? There's a leaf right here. I don't know if you guys can see. Oops, right there. That's new coming in. That whole little part has just come in. Then we have some new growth starting down here. So this one is really starting to blossom along with the other one similar to it, which we'll go ahead and walk over to. So here we have, this is the green variant here. As you can see, new leaf coming in. I had showed you guys this. You just saw that in the last one. You can see the progress here. And also here we have, looks like there's one there. And I think this is the second one. Yeah, so you have some newness coming in here while the old leaves are seemingly dying out. But the two new are coming in. So it's kind of replacing what was there. So hopefully that's a good start that will continue. And again, with the weather still being so iffy and wishy-washy. The temperatures are impacting the plant, so you'll see some yellowing. It's not uncommon. As long as the whole plant is just not going out on you. Losing some leaves is not uncommon in the winter months, fall and winter months, since a lot of plants do tend to thrive in the summer or warmer, spring and summer more so than winter. There are some winter plants as well. This was a singular, another Chinese evergreen. Looks like there might be something starting back there, so we'll keep an eye out to see. I do need to give it some more water, but just giving it a chance to grow. And that's pretty much all that I have for the current status of um plants coming in. And let's see, remember I showed you guys there was a new plant or a new leaf, sorry, a new plant back here. And you can see there it is right there. It's coming in quite well as so there's new growth happening for most of the plants, which is a great thing. And so I'm just gonna swap to the picture of the content of the outdoor garden just so you can see the pumpkin growth there. There's not actually a pumpkin, so spoiler alert there, but just so you can see the change with the growth in the plant.